Hey, welcome to the latest production line developer blog. I am Cliff Harris, or Cliffski. I am the coder and designer of the game. Been away for 2 weeks, 2 long weeks, because we were showing the game at EGX in Birmingham, UK, and then also I had to go to Boston to meet with Valve and some indie devs over there who I know. So it's been a while since we last did a video. And although we haven't updated the full version of the game, we have updated the build that is in the unstable branch on Steam. So if you want to try out the latest build and you accept that it might crash or go wrong or it might not be perfect, if in Steam I think you right click the name of the game and select properties and then betas, and you opt into the unstable build, there's no password, that will get you 1.60 unstable. This is 1.60 supposedly stable. It's not, it just crashed on me actually. So that's nonsense, isn't it? Anyway, so there are a few things wrong. If I zoom in on these cars, you can see a few things that are wrong probably, but I will talk you through them anyway. Something you'll be noticing if you play the game a lot anyway is this green flashing. Normally it flashes red if you've got no research going. Flashing green means you've got no design research going. So actually let's talk about this screen, because I've changed this so that the queue is now over here. So I think I've researched almost everything, but if I add a few things to the queue, like this is where the queue is now, the research queue. So you can have a much longer queue. I may make these bigger and add more information to them. Actually, I haven't quite decided yet. So this gives you a lot more vertical room and less horizontal room. Now, depending on your screen resolution, you may think that's really good or not. But the general consensus when I've shown this to people has been, yeah, this is a much better layout for this screen. Because we have very big tech trees in this game. If you haven't actually played the game, you won't realise that there is a lot to research. Research is a big deal. There's a lot of tech in cars these days. Anyway, so another thing I've done, I've got these little icons here. So that is a like a desk icon that kind of signifies research, and I've got a little icon there for the design studio which kind of signifies design, just to make it clear that these are different things. So these techs are researched at design studios and they require design points to do it, and the queue will be different. Eventually I will change this research queue so that it shows you the design queue, which will be a new thing because currently we don't have one. You notice here all of this changes. Okay, so if I start researching that, then you know that shows up there because that's design. I know it's not perfect, it's by any stretch, is it? But you know, the game keeps getting better. I hope. It'd be bad if it got worse. Anyway, whatever. So this is the design screen, and it's all changed, and I think a lot better. And also, I did away with the description up there, so it only gets a tooltip that it shouldn't show, unless it shouldn't do that. There's always a bug I find when I do a video. Anyway, so that's a big thing that's not actually in the unstable build. What's going on there? That's better. It's in only the version I've got, but it will be released soon, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So, what is wrong with this build that I can't just push it out? If I pause this, like, this car looks fine, right? That looks a bit weird and not like you're used to, and so does that. That's because we're re-rendering all of the cars to be different, and the only one that's been done so far, that's a really polished paintwork car there, is the sedan. So if I go into here, loads of stuff has changed, right? So if I go with this, so this is a car that is blue, it's set to be blue, and it has polished paintwork. I might have touched on this a bit last week. If I turn that off, it looks like that. That is the way the cars will look these days, and you can change them to whatever colour you like. Also, this works now in that it doesn't stick with whatever thing you just happened to mouse over a minute ago. I had to do a right load of faff here. So if I leave it like this, these are the 4 colours that this car will be sold in. The colour makes no difference, it's purely for the player. So if I turn those off and it'll be green, I can preview all the other colours. but it will always go back to green. That was really bugging me, that. Now if I put polished paintwork on, it gets, you can tell it gets a shinier look, and that costs more to do and is worth more. But we have a new thing. You may be saying, but Cliff, what is this thing over here? That is that is a thing that should have a tooltip and doesn't. Slackness. It's a kind of chrome effect, right? Which is completely new. Someone suggested, why don't you put that in as an actual thing you can select? If I do select that, it will look like that. The polished paintwork then has no effect. The thing about it is, if you have colours, you can't combine them. If you go with that, it destroys all of them. So this is kind of like a new feature, but it's just for fun, right? So it's not a thing that you research Chrome Paint or anything. If everyone thinks I really should do that, maybe I'll do that. But the thing is, this has only been re-rendered at the moment for this car, for this sedan. If I go to the SUV, look, everything's kind of weird and screwed up. And if I do that, it doesn't look very good. Same with the compact and the sports and the pickup. They're all going to look awesome. I'll explain why there's no wheels in a minute. But I just need the artist to re-render them. So that isn't done yet, but it will be done soon. Let's go back to this one with polished paint because I prefer that. I love the polished paintwork. There we go, lovely. So what else is not done and is holding back me saying here's version 1.6? Wheels within wheels and front grills. So there are options here. Like if I go to wheels, I can't remember what ones are done. Yeah, right. So I could have those wheels, cool, huh? Or gold wheels, or high-tech wheels, matte black wheels. Where's turbine wheels? Oh, I haven't researched them yet. How annoying. Or just normal alloy wheels. So you've got lots of different wheel options. Now, I know what you're thinking. Gold wheels look tacky as hell. But I think, and they do, there's no denying that. Like, who has gold wheels? But like with black, kind of get away with that if you're, you know, a drug dealer or something. I don't know. So these are like all options. And if I go with front vent, oh, I haven't researched them yet. How annoying. Because they are all actually done. We'll talk about other stuff. Which one is being researched now? The mesh style one. It's not a particularly good one, actually. I'll talk about other stuff while I spin through all this. I've also done a little bit of optimizing recently that you might find sometimes excellent. Upgradable slots, edit models. Yeah, I don't care about that. What I want, and that should bring me there. Let's go with that. Need the queue. You might find that sometimes if you load a new game or you change some of the pathing, in other words, you put down new resource conveyors or whatever, that the game takes a while. It runs slow for like a second or so with a really bad frame rate. It now detects if it's doing that, why it is doing that, and it will spread out those calculations over a longer period. Hardly anyone will notice that unless you have like 1,000 slots and a massive map like bigger than this and with more stuff and a low spec PC. That probably never happens, but if it does, you will find that the frame rate is better now. It's just a little thing that I put in yesterday. There is a bunch of other stuff. Yes, we're nearly done. I need to make these slower to research. What I'm going to do is look at my list, because I have a list. What am I doing? I haven't been awake long enough. This is the problem. There's something wrong with Windows, you know. There is something... God, words fail me as to how crap Windows is sometimes. Anyway, while that is researching, I will attempt to... Right, okay. This is not an amazing video, is it? I kind of get better at it, and then I kind of I lose my touch. If I had a touch, so didn't have a touch. It's the first video since I got back, right? So I'm allowed to be kind of all over the place. Right, that is taking a while to research. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so loads of stuff. Blah. Yeah, resources now get unlocked. This doesn't make any difference to you whatsoever, but if you go here and you look at prices and you look at all this stuff, this is a lot, right? At the start of the game now, you won't see all of this. You'll only see maybe half of this. So for example, air suspension bags as a resource, you really don't care about the price of them until you've researched air suspension, which by the way is a new thing. So that kind of like declutters the interface a bit, and I think that's worth doing. Okay, we'll go back to normal stuff and have a look. I'll go through everything else that we got. There is a kind of like random crash bug that used to happen if you have a really high spec PC that we fixed. The load and save dialog, this should load about 10 times quicker than it used to. Blah blah blah. Breakdowns don't happen until later in the game, because I know it was annoying when you kept seeing slots break down and you were nowhere close, like this one, and you were nowhere close to researching maintenance. So they've been put back. The escape button now sensibly launches that. Blah blah blah. Oh, here's the thing some people really wanted. Have I got the money? Yeah, if I launch a marketing campaign, I can click this to make it auto renew, so when it runs out it will auto start again, assuming you have enough marketing ideas, which are kind of like the resources, and you have enough money obviously, and it has a float in there of I think like $1,000, so it won't leave you with like $1 and automatically renew it. So you'd only really put it on auto renew if you kind of knew what you were doing and you were making loads of money, but some people wanted that. The minimum spec Steam achievement was broken and is now fixed, and any progress towards it is still valid. Blah blah blah. If I click on a car and look at defects, there won't be any, but there's now a tooltip here that explains what the hell's going on there. Blah 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 blah. There was a thing where occasionally redundant resources, especially on fit fuel tank, would be ordered by the stockpile. That does not happen anymore. Redesigned that, new crown paint. Right, okay. So the final thing to talk about is this. So it should be there now. So if we go to, let's go to our stupid car. So yes, we have wheel options and vent options. So we have turbine spoke wheels. Oh, I love these. Some people really don't like that. I think that's cool. That's cool. Look at that. That's high tech. All that. I'd buy a car like that, although not with a spoiler. I kind of have a car like that, although not with a spoiler and not with that front. Yeah, I kind of like them turbine spoke wheels. And the front vent, we have other things, so you can change it to that. Doesn't change it a lot, to be honest, but it does change it. Maybe you prefer that. What cars have that? There is. It's not Rolls Royce, but it's something. Is it Aston Martin? I don't know. You can do this, which we haven't finished yet. This will look better, because this line will disappear where you don't even have a front vent or grille, depending on like how you refer to it. That's only really an option with electric cars in the real world, but we're letting you do it to anyone. Or you can have this, which will also need to adjust that slightly. But I like the fact that there's just options. I like this sort of thing, being able to change all this, and I'm pretty certain players like it too. You know, it's your car company, right? This should expand if there's more options, shouldn't it? Shouldn't have a scroll wheel there. There's so much to do. So much to do. Matte black's kind of cool, actually. If you have black, matte black, that's kind of cool, right? Silver matte, no. Anyway, so that's what's in the game at the moment. What is coming up? Because I normally talk about what is coming up in the next week or so. I really want to get this patch out there. So basically I'm just waiting for that artwork for every car, which is quite a lot of artwork. Look, you can see, look, yes, we're churning out our drug dealer mobiles. Is there enough of a drug problem in this city to support this marketplace? Who knows? So yeah, there's actually quite a lot of artwork, but it will be showing up soon, I hope. And then I'll be able to release this build, which I really want to get out there because it fixes some like crashy bugs and everything. So what's coming next? And the answer is I don't know. I need to look at my bloody calendar, don't I? Chip manufacture and self-driving tech is something that people keep voting for, and I have artwork for. I have like a big machine, like a big pancake maker that makes not platters. What are they called when they make chips? Oh, who cares? Anyway, so I've got a big machine that makes that and loads of like computer controlled stuff. So we're going to let you fab your own chips that then go into the cars to support self-driving. That's going to be awesome. Active spoilers are going to be a thing. So some spoilers in really high-end cars go up and down depending how fast you go. It's kind of cool. That would just mean adding a motor and charging you more money, really. Maybe a chip, maybe a sensor. It'd be a sensor, wouldn't it? A sensor, a motor, and a spoiler. Blah blah blah. I want to put a queue in for the design research. I might try and do that today. I might have defects on cars start later in the game, because again that's one of those things that kind of overwhelms players at the start. And I may redesign the market screen, by which I mean this screen, a little bit, because I believe I could do better than this. Just a few tweaks to some icons and the way it's laid out. I've already got a mock-up that I might show to people soon. I'd also like smart junctions to work based on what features are on the car rather than the car design, because I think that's more helpful. We should have a discount coming if you've got a car that's missing installed features, and also a higher tech touchscreen that is bigger for really high-end cars. I want you to be able to manufacture electric powertrains, and we're probably going to add in a few more vehicle stats to the follow cam stuff. There's a load of stuff, and then I'm going to do some optimizing ready for adding a load of graphics. I was thinking of porting to DirectX 11, but I think I may not do that now, and I may talk about that next week in depth, because there are good reasons not to do it. And I think that it would be interesting for some people, I think, if I talked about that. Anyway, so this is Production Line. Thank you for buying it. It helps support me and my increasing army of cats, and allows me to spend more money on more artwork and so on. It's currently on Steam, blah 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 blah. Please like and subscribe these videos, because that's the most important thing in the whole universe these days. Don't worry about political events. Make sure that you like this video and that you subscribe to the channel. It's the most important thing you will ever do in your life. I am back now and not going anywhere, so I will see you next week. Thanks.